Before we start today's video, check out our merch shop, linked in the description down below. Use code Ahsoka in all caps to get $7 off your order. May the Force be with you, and enjoy the vid.
Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
Now, half a decade after its premiere, The Mandalorian has already been retconned quite a few times by the Star Wars franchise. It's exactly what we're going to be discussing in today's video, times that The Mandalorian has been retconned, or has retconned something else within the Star Wars franchise. What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here, hope you're all doing well, and in this video we are going to be discussing how The Mandalorian has, in the last half decade and 5 years, has retconned other things within a galaxy far, far away. Not just that, but how other things have also retconned The Mandalorian within the last 5 years, in and out of its 3 seasons, and also with its spin-off shows, The Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka, with its next kind of spin-off show, the Star Wars Skeleton Crew show, right around the corner, that there is also taking place in that post-Return of the Jedi era and a part of the Mandoverse. We're going to go ahead, we're going to break it all down for you guys, hop right on into it, everything that we know and everything that we're anticipating right now. Before we do though, however, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already, as we're discussing and covering all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel. So if you guys are into any of that, go ahead and grab that subscribe button today. Okay, so in this video we are going to be taking a quick read from ScreenRant.com as an overall garnering source. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. Even just 5 years after its premiere, The Mandalorian has already been retconned quite a few times by Star Wars, and now that The Mandalorian has cemented its place not only as one of Star Wars' best TV shows, but also as one of the franchise's most successful sub-franchises, there have been multiple spin-off projects that have also started to change the original story that was told back in 2019 from Season 1 and from the original groundwork that was really laid out. It's becoming especially true and now more important than ever, especially with the upcoming Mandalorian and Grogu movie on its way in May of 2026. The Mandalorian itself has been quite a major source of Star Wars retcons, most notably for the way it builds a bridge between the events over the original Star Wars trilogy and throughout the sequel trilogy. This is also the case with its new Mandalorian lore, which was and has been rewritten a lot of what Star Wars audiences thought they knew from both Star Wars Legends, previously the Expanded Universe or EU, and Star Wars The Clone Wars, Star Wars The Rebels, the comics, the books, the novels, and even Star Wars video games. In the years since, however, The Mandalorian has also been retconned itself, kind of undermining its own principles and its baseline things that it's really established from the get-go within its first season. So, here are 8 of the biggest retcons that we've seen with The Mandalorian. Number 1 is Djarin had never been to Mandalore prior to Season 3, or at least from what we had thought. It's revealed by Djarin himself in The Mandalorian Season 3 that he had never actually been to Mandalore before embarking there on his quest for redemption within the living waters. Din explains to Grogu that he was raised on Mandalore's moon, Concordia, and so he only ever saw Mandalore from a distance. This helped him empathize with Grogu, who was understandably frightened by the swirling atmosphere of Mandalore's damaged surface after the Great Purge and the events that we had heard about and even saw a little bit throughout the original trilogy and in the Book of Boba Fett. This, however, completely changes one line from Season 1, maybe for the worse, and really retcons it. Not just a line, but maybe even a bit of a flashback if you remember. Din identifies Moff Gideon in the Mandalorian Season 1 finale because of the ISB officer's knowledge of his family name, Djarin, and the only record of his family name was kept in the registers of Mandalore, which Gideon would have also had access to during the events of the Purge. This makes no sense after Season 3, since there would be no reason for Din's name to be registered on Mandalore if he himself had never actually been there. Okay, maybe his parents were there to register their name is probably the most likely scenario, but still, those little minor inconveniences. You guys get the point. Our next big retcon for The Mandalorian is that the Armorer and Paz Vizsla weren't the only children of the Watch left, as may be anticipated from the Book of Boba Fett. The Mandalorian Season 3 continues its pattern of retconning by changing something that had not only just been established a year earlier in the Book of Boba Fett, but even earlier within The Mandalorian Season 1. Season 3 opens with a ceremony that sees Ragnar Vizsla, the son of Paz Vizsla, swearing to the creed and receiving his very own Mandalorian helmet, which happens to be in the audience of many other members of, you guessed it, Children of the Watch. This is the first time that viewers see Paz's own foundling for one, and the covert as a whole, aside from a brief few scenes in Season 1. In the Book of Boba Fett, however, had previously revealed that the Armorer and Paz Vizsla were the only members of Din Djarin's covert left, or the Children of the Watch, after the events and the conclusion of Season 1. The Empire coming in with Moff Gideon and wiping them all out is kind of what we had heard from the Armorer. It was even shown that many members of Din's covert had perished on Navarro after they revealed themselves to save him from Greef Karga's bounty hunters. And in the Book of Boba Fett had reinforced that by showing the Armorer and Paz rebuilding from the ground up on the Glavis Ring world. In Season 3, however, though, they also have somehow grown their ranks immensely in the very short period of time. It just doesn't really all add up, if you ask me. A very next large retcon that we've maybe seen, or kind of just confusion I think this one really lies under, is that Grogu never actually wanted to train as a Jedi, as he was told or had seen at the end of Season 2. Choose your path has become a defining slogan for Grogu and the Mandalorian after the book of Boba Fett, when Grogu actively chooses to return to his father, Din, and learn the Mandalorian way, rather than take and walk the path of the Jedi with Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker has Grogu's make this choice after observing that Grogu's heart hasn't been in this Jedi training throughout that time that they had spent together, and something that he, as a son who never got to reconcile with his father until it was too late, would certainly understand. This alters the course for Grogu's future, but also changes the entire meaning of The Mandalorian Season 2's conclusion. You guys know my thoughts and opinions here on the channel. I don't entirely agree with that and kind of how they did that simply in the Book of Boba Fett. I do agree with them making Grogu come back to Din, but maybe not doing that in a spin-off show. That's about Boba Fett out of all, places to do it. Not just that, but it's very hypocritical from Luke Skywalker's point of view as well. He chooses love and at the same time, and has those personal attachments to his father and to other characters as well, but won't let Grogu do the same. Even though having those attachments is a very old Jedi way from the Republic days and from the events of the prequels, of course. And even then, those were just implemented rules to have those rules at the time. It wasn't something that would really interfere all that much, it felt like, with the Jedi way. Of course, you may argue that it did interfere with Anakin, but I don't necessarily think that it did in that sense. Anyway, guys, this here all being said, let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.